And I called Jamey. I said, dude, is there any mid-tempo songs on this? I mean, you're killing me here. People are going to be exhausted. So, and then the next song he sent after that was Silent Case. I'm like, yeah, that's better.
What's up, everybody? Ghost Cult Magazine back here with another interview, and we welcome back in our old friend and many-time Ghost Cult interviewee, Tim Ripper Owens. How are you doing, man?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
I'm so well. It's Friday. There have been very few terrible ones in my life. They're all pretty good. And I hope you're well. You know, it's been a couple of years since we interviewed last in person. We've chatted multiple times over the years for different projects of yours. I'm super stoked about this Ripper release, Return to Death Row, and just the whole genesis of everything. And really just happy for you to have this release out. And it seemed like, you know, we dug it around the HQ. We were talking about it and how strong it was. Not that we expect any less, but just really happy for you in general.
Thank you. Yeah, I really love it. You know, it was about time. So it was about time to get this thing out.
Right on. I mean, like, you know, the whole world has been upside down for a few years, and you're such a touring guy. You made your bones on the road, and you're not used to being not on tour. I'm sure the family time is good, and time to work on your other business ventures is always good. And you know, I know there were people who are introverts who were really happy about the break and time off, and I don't begrudge anybody, any artist who couldn't work during the worst of this last couple of years, because you know, you got to go with what your heart is. I know a few people like, I just don't feel creative. Everything is uncertain. Our whole industry has changed, but other people thrived. And I feel like you've been kind of thriving between this release, KK's Priest, other things. So it sounds like
we did the 3 Tremors in Pyramid progressive metal records, you know. But yeah, you know, I've been lucky. I didn't know what I was going to do when COVID hit either, to be honest, because of tour. But then I think I put on Facebook, if anybody's interested in me guesting on a record, on a song or two. I think the one year I recorded about 4 or 5 albums, full albums for different people, which if they want to hit me up now, it's rippervocals@gmail.com, rippervocals@gmail.com. But anyways, I got lucky to do that. And I found something I could do when I'm home from touring. You know, music's what I do for a living, right? I mean, it's how I make my living and pay my bills. So you did nail it. Usually I'd be touring a lot, but now, you know, I stayed busy, and then this opportunity came up to do the solo record. And you know, that was pretty much after COVID. And you know, I was touring already, but it was lucky that Jamey called and said, okay, I asked you 10 years ago to do this thing. It's about time for us to do it. So we did it.
Dude is persistent, man. I met him many moons ago, and he's been intense that way his whole life. Seriously.
Yeah, you know, he loves, I think the thing is, everybody who knows Jamey knows he's such a great guy and a great character. And he loves what he does. He has a passion for music, and that's his business as well. So he's always looking at, you know, what can I do? And it's not something that he just looks to do. He looks to do something that he's going to love to do. So he was excited about doing this. And when I heard the Dee Snider thing, I was like, man, that Dee Snider stuff was great. So I was like, I can't imagine what my stuff's going to sound like. It's just going to be a lot of fun. So
yeah, shout out to Jamey. I would say the one thing that I really love about this, Dee's record, your record, George's record, his own solo stuff, is that you hear the passion. Like, he, as a fan, this is what he would like to hear as a fan. So he's still got that same energy he had as a little kid discovering music, and he wants that for everybody else. And it totally comes across in these releases, however hands-on he is or not. Like, he even is just a spark that helps these things happen, or through his label or whatever, his guidance, if you will. Listen, you've been making records and producing records for years. You've had other solo records, but like, I love that this is another one of these, like, it came from a conversation. It sounded like it was very organic, like, seems like a good idea. When is the time match up? And we've also interviewed the Bellmores, right? We've talked to them about their own band and other things, and George's record and Dee, and just, you know, it's a real fun confluence that the last couple of years have brought us these very rich albums from very notable voices.
Yeah, we're lucky, and it's great. I was lucky to work with the guys in the band, the Bellmores and the Beaudette, and having Jamey mix, you know, produce it and write. And it's been great. I've been really fortunate.
Jamey is not getting enough credit. He's the riff machine behind a lot of Hatebreed songs that people love. He's got those riffs on lock, man. He can play and he can write. So he knows what's catchy and what's heavy and what's good. So Yeah, I really dig this record. I want to just mention, by the way, I don't know why, but I got like Shocker vibes, the Stephen King movie and book from the cover. I don't know if that was intentional or not with the jumpsuit and
It's
the
funny. I
electric
just did
chair.
about three of the interviews today mentioned that cover looked like something, but it was the first time ever they didn't say Shocker. I could have, they named a couple other things, but you know what happened was it started off as a sketch. You know, it's the plan was going to have me in an electric chair, and I guess at the end of the, you know, the guy with the rifle and the you know, the noose on the ground and the guy with the needle. I guess at the end of the day, if you put me in an electric chair and put an orange jumpsuit on me, it's going to look like Shocker no matter what, right? So I don't. There was no intention at the beginning. I don't think. Dan Goldsworthy is the artist. I don't think when the first started the drawings it was the intention, but I think at the end of the day, it became of us saying a nod to Shocker. You know what I mean? Because it's like what we're. First of all, I'm not going to answer. I don't know if there is a right answer to say whether it is, but it is. It has that vibe. Listen, if you Google guy in an electric chair, 75% of them are guys in an orange jumpsuit and an electric chair. That's the photo, right? But it has that whole Shocker vibe, and we're smart enough to say, hell yeah, it does, and it's a little nod to it.
Right on. And also electric chair and a blue background screams Metallica, classic heavy metal and thrash metal, right? So
Yeah,
no shame in that game. It's one of the
yeah,
greatest iconic album images ever. And I even think about the guy who played the Shocker in the movies, Mitch Pileggi, who ended up on the X-Files years later. Great actor, handsome guy. You're very distinguished. You're better looking than him. You have more hair still, but he was bald the whole way. I think his whole career, like, you know, I also I'm hair impaired now. I used to have great long hair, but you know, it goes away. What can you do? But it goes, we lose things as we get older and gain other things we don't want. But yeah, man, it's just such a fun album. It's such a strong album. And I really definitely want to unpack the tracks with you. But I wanted to ask, like, what I've always liked about your work is every single project, it's still you, but you definitely differentiate yourself across every project, vocally, lyrically, just everything. It's always going to be your talents, of course, and people have an expectation of what you should sound like and what they hear in their mind when they think about Ripper. But I feel like every project you've ever done is slightly different from the last or the next. And I really love that because you take your fans are coming with you on this journey of creativity.
yeah. I grew up listening to people like, you know, Halford and Dio and John Oliva and David Bowie and people who sang in characters and gave you different things. You know, I grew up singing in musicals and choir, so vocally I could sing anywhere from like a Sepultura, Pantera to a, you know, a classic rainbow sounding 80s thing, and or a, a straightforward metal. I sing whatever needs to be sung. But the funniest thing is, no matter, unless I'm singing the really low heavy stuff, everything always sounds like me. I would rather not sing high notes, even though I have to. um Everybody wants to hear them in there somewhere, so I always squeeze them in. But and my high voice is the strongest. It's best shape it's ever been, and it's kind of funny. But yeah, I just like to sing. I turn the music on. I sing what fits the mood, you know. But it's, you nailed it. I'm glad you said it, because it still sounds like me and it's still me, but it's just a different character of it. You know, it's just coming across a different way.
I'm tempted to ask, as a huge theater nerd from when I was a kid, do you have a favorite musical or a favorite musical you ever performed in?
Well, I one I did a couple in high school, and it's, you know, it's so long ago I don't even remember the name of the one I did. It's funny, I got to tell you what, I was a senior. I played the lead role of I was a misguided musician in the school that showed up with bandana and earrings and like a concert shirt and was all, you know, crazy guy. And I'm like, well, hey, that's what I ended up growing up being. So I guess the role ended up playing. And I sang a song called "Be My Music." You know, I remember that part of it. I don't know how I remember that either, but Les Mis, I love that. You know, I love a lot of them. You know, I mean, it's I just, you know, I was a big choir singer in school. Listen, that's how I got by. I wish I would have studied more. And I tell my people this all the time. If there's anything I could do different in my life, I would have studied more in school, took it more serious, maybe went to trade school. But I didn't. I had about 4 or 5 music classes my senior year. I had men's glee, madrigal, select choir, snare drum, I mean, I was just going through the list of whatever I could get a credit on, so it's kind of funny.
That's amazing. I know it's closing on Broadway. I always imagined I would love to hear you do like Phantom. And I know the Broadway version is closing now finally after like a record setting 25, 30 years or something. But yeah, that's a great
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd love to attempt any of them.
Yeah, Phantom is like the metalheads musical theater
Yeah,
show,
I
right?
did a song for Ted Kirkpatrick on the Jesus Christ Superstar. I did a song for that. It's on YouTube. I can't remember the name of the song I did, but
yeah,
it was a good one. It was a good. Ian Gillan did a version of that song.
he did the original.
Yeah.
Ian Gillan is the original cast recording. I just saw it on Broadway here in San Francisco like a year ago, and it was phenomenal. And I forgot how rocking it is. It's got actually a full band.
Yeah. And I got some awesome high notes in the song, so someone could look up, Ripper Owens, on YouTube, and they'll find it.
I'm definitely gonna check it out, man. That's awesome. Let's do this. I thought, like I said, let's get through the track by track. I'm trying to get my phone to cooperate because being a dick. But yeah, I thought it'd be fun to kind of go do a little track by track. Whatever you want to share about each song is cool with us, and I think we'll find something fun about it as soon as I can. Here we go. I got it. My phone is like, no, I don't want to pull up the track listing. Go screw yourself. All right, I got it now. And just out of curiosity, obviously there, we'll talk about it in a second. Obviously the title track is in there, Return to Death Row, but it is such a like very, just right off the bat before we go down the list of songs, it is a very, compelling title and a very compelling song to name the album after. Like, it's very striking.
Well, the reason why for the title for the record with the Judas Priest fans out there and the Ripper fans is it was the 25th anniversary of the Jugulator record, and Death Row was one of the first songs released from that record. So I think Jamey's idea was, this is what really got him. Dude, it's 25 years of Jugulator. This is the perfect time. You could hear him like, let's make it hard, man. Come on. And he goes, we'll call it Return to Death Row. And it was like, that was his first thing out of his mouth. Like, yeah, we're on to something. So that's how that started.
Very smart on that guy's behalf. So the record starts off with Die While We're Alive, which is a great album opener.
Yeah, it was the perfect one. That was the first song we did in the studio, too. And I remember they sent it to me. And I was like, man, this is some heavy shit here. But great thing about it is it was heavy, fast, but still had the melody in it. And the choruses are very melodic. But it really was a great song, an opener for the record, I thought right away. Because it has that scream at the beginning, like right away. It kind of comes out of the gate with this right in your face, and all of a sudden there's that Ripper scream, and and the chorus is great. It's a great opener, and I knew right when I heard that song right away, I said, we're on to something here.
Nice. Embattled is the next track. Great again, another great title.
Yeah, and Embattled was recorded, that was the 5th song recorded right before I left to go tour Latin America. When I landed in Latin America, Jamey calls and says, hey, we're going to shoot a video for Embattled. The guy, my buddy who's out there, I don't have his name, I forget his name, who's amazing. He did Megadeth and all this. He goes, he's going to come to your show and we're going to, I'm like, I don't even know the song. I just recorded it before I left. I didn't even know it. And what a great song to what's great is it's still heavy but different. It comes down a little bit, and it was a great song to release first off the record, and shoot the video for. So, and the lyrics are great. Everybody's embattled. When you look at that video, you got, homeless people, the devil goat thing. Got all these mental things, dogs. Everybody that's embattled. When you see the bum smoking on the side, and everybody's embattled with something, and I've been the last 6 months to a year embattled with things going on in my personal life, and everybody goes through things, and it's tough, and the lyrics are great.
Right on. I hope things even out for you and get better in 2023. The next track is The Night, Take It Back.
Yeah, originally it was called Take Back the Night, so I get screwed up with the title all the time. This was the one, every song I did, I recorded my vocals and sent it to him, and that was it. Never doubled. I gave him a bazillion vocals, so they Take Back the Night, Take It Back. It was the only song I recorded, and then went back and said, I got to do the verses different. They were too heavy, even though the song reminds me a little bit of a Megadeth thing. And so I redid a lot of the verses to make it a little cleaner. So it's almost like a mixture between clean, full on power clean, and then raspy. But that was the only one that I just couldn't get right how I wanted it. So it wasn't my favorite. I love all 6 songs. It wasn't my favorite. And now I just love the song. After it was mixed and came back, I'm like, yeah, this thing's pretty killer.
Right on. Silent Cage is the next track.
A lot of people's favorite, and I knew it would be because it's the commercial song of the record, is if you can call it, and it really is a catchy, again, Silent Cage, Locked in the Silent Cage, and it's a great mental, lyrical song. I knew this one reminds me a lot that it would have been on my A New Revenge record. It reminds me of A New Revenge song so much. And it's a lot of people's favorite. And, if there's any normal kind of radio station around that wants to play a song off my record, this is probably the only one they would ever attempt. As a matter of fact, 97.5 here in Akron, Canton, I saw the guys, the DJ say, hey, come onto the station next week and do an interview. And I said, okay, they play classic rock. They're not going to play. And I said, well, you can play Silent Cage. That's about the only song. So, you can do that one.
The rest are too metal for regular people. My favorite song on the whole record is Heroes Dare, and that's the next track.
Mine too. This is my favorite song on the record. It's got that old school kind of thing going on with it, but the choruses, the way it, the way it goes, and the melody of the chorus, and it's just a great tune, man. That was the last one I recorded. I came back from South America and recorded this one, and I was like, yep, that's my favorite.
Word. I love to hear it. And then obviously the title track, once again, is the last track, Return to Death Row. Yeah, this is a really strong track, and it's a great ending track. My favorite part about this is the breakdown in the middle. When it gets slow and you hear the phone ring and the footsteps, that's a play on the original Death Row from Judas Priest Jugulator, because that's pretty much how the song started, I think. Hello? Okay, no stay. And you hear him clicking and dead man walking. Well, we wanted to have a little play, and even the way the music kind of sounds. And then the vocals there, the slow vocals are, compared to how aggressive that song was. And all of a sudden, outside these walls, there no bad. Just the way it comes in, it's one of my favorite parts. So I think here's what happened when we recorded this record. Die While We're Alive was first sent to me. Return to Death Row is the second song sent to me. The Night, Take It Back was the third song sent to me. And I called Jamey. I said, dude, is there any mid-tempo songs on this? I mean, you're killing me here, man. People are going to be exhausted. So, and then the next song he sent after that was Silent Cage. I'm like, yeah, that's better. There was talk on this to have some guest people play on it, some guest bass player. And I was like, dude, let's just do it with our guys, man. Do it with your guys, and let's have some fun with it. But yeah, Return to Death Row is a great ending song. Word. I'm still a fan of whole albums and sequencing and pacing and building drama. And I appreciate that, as much as I know Jamey, his trademark is going hard, right? But I like that you also want to have some kind of, a flow that's
well. And the thing is we wanted to punch people in the face with this. It was an EP, 6-song EP, right? So you're coming out of the gate. Not that this isn't what the full length's going to be. We're going to come right back at you with a 10-song record, full length, and it's going to be the same, but it'll probably have a few more mid-tempo songs on it. A little more light and shade. I remember the way they sent it to me. I'm like, this is how it should be. And I think at the end of the day, that's pretty much what the order was, because it's a lot different when you only have 6 songs, right? You got to try to figure out, 3 fast songs, and it just worked out. I think the Die While We're Alive was the perfect beginning song. Return to Death Row is a perfect ending song, and it's great because there's no song you just want to throw out, right? There's no song there's no fillers in it. There's just 6 strong tracks.
I agree. And once again, thank you for this awesome album. Shout out to Jamey for all his, persistence, no pun intended, and trying to make it happen, and the rest of those guys.
Christopher Bellmore drums produced it. Charlie Bellmore guitars. Christopher Taylor Beaudette bass. Those guys, were the ones who made this thing sound great. And Jamey and Nicky producing it. It was one of the easiest records to do. Fast, Jamey laughed because he sent me the first song. I sent it back a day later, and he calls. He goes, "Man, I got goosebumps. This is great, man. This is. I can't believe it. So professional. Everything's perfect." Did the next song, and then by the third song, Jamey said we'd be sitting in the studio working. I'd send you the song the night before or early in the morning. I'd get up and go to the gym, come home, work on the song. He said at noon, we'd be in the studio, our computer would go off, and we look at each other and go, "That's Ripper's sending the vocals already." That's how it was. I would sit down and just start saying, I would send them 12, there would be 10 to 12 vocal tracks every time. So, but those guys made it. It was fun. It was a great time. And martyrstore.net, they can, cassettes, vinyl, the CD, shirts, hats, bundles, autograph stuff. It's Jamey. And listen, let me tell everybody now, you'll have to go through all Jamey shit first on the page before you get to mine. So mine was up there originally. You got to go through Jamey. He's the boss. And then mine will be way down at the bottom. So keep scrolling.
No worries. We're going to link everything in the description and do our best to make sure people get directed to where all your stuff is. I'm grateful to get these records, and I wonder who he's going to work with next and get probably another very successful result. I know you're very busy with projects and things, but I imagine that hopefully this went so well, there'll be a full length or another one of these when time permits.
Well, there is. The original idea was, Keith, it was 6-song EP and 10-song record. That's we're doing them. But I think KK's Priest is going to be up and going strong here now. So, but we'll squeeze in recording it and get it done. That's the whole plan.
Right on. I know you have a very busy year with KK's Priest. Time to Rock Fest with an exclusive appearance in Europe and other things. And, I do want to, point out the KK's Priest record is very strong, great band beside yourself and Ken, obviously, but he really put together a terrific group there with you. And, I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys really hit the road and hopefully come to North America and do a big headline tour as you should.
Well, people are going to love the new one. It's to me, the first one was the perfect, great record, and this one's better. Vocals are more aggressive. I think now it's got the little edge. Maybe coming off my solo record, I still had that angry vibe in my voice, so I kind of had a little more edge to it, and a little more Jugulator-esque vocals. And it's great. That's great. Ken's a great guy. He's so talented and great songwriter. So next couple of years, hopefully, we'll be doing a lot of touring.
Right on. Before I give you back the rest of your day and let you go, I do want to point out, I'm glad that Jugulator came up. I'm glad that there's a lot of respect being put on your name. I'm happy for Ken. I'm glad the Hall of Fame took in Priest and paid them their respect. I hope Maiden gets in. Who knows? I don't really care about awards and Halls of Fame, but I do feel like it was unfortunate that they didn't include you. You deserve to be in. They don't get to have a reunion with Rob if they don't keep the band going. You were essential. I love those records. I love seeing the band with you live in those days, especially that Roseland show. I'm very fond of that tour in the late 90s with you. And I know you've always been with me very humble and very, taking in the praise, but not I don't see you as a guy that pats yourself on your back, but I felt I was mad as a fan. I was like, man, that really sucks. They should have put you in. I know Richie. I interviewed Richie, and I don't know if you know him, but probably not. But
I know Richie.
I interviewed him this time a year ago when it was first brought up that they were nominated, and he was like, I don't care. He's like, I'm focused on the next thing for the band. And he had been through the big health scare. So clearly his priorities are not awards. He's like, I want to take care of myself and be here for my child and write great riffs and play great on stage. And, but they don't get to have Rob come back. They don't get to have this second part of their career without the middle part that is you. So I just want to say thank you for that. And you've always been really great to us here at Ghost Cult. And I look forward to seeing you again and chopping it up with you again in the future about the next thing.
Absolutely. We'll do it, man. We'll do it. And whenever you want to talk, just let me know.
Word. Well, I got the email now, so I know for sure how to get you. Thanks, Ripper. Thanks for hanging out with Ghost Cult.
All right, Keith. Good seeing you again, buddy. We'll see you soon.